Welcome everyone. In the previous session, we studied the first rule for variable naming in Python. We studied that variable names must start with a letter or an underscore. Now let us learn rule number 2 that states numbers cannot lead. In simple word, this means a variable name should not start with a number. Now let us look at this image carefully. Here we can see a broken road sign structure. This image represents an incorrect variable name. Now see the variable name numerical 10 lane underscore highway is equal to NH44. This variable name starts with the number 10. Because of that, Python rejects it. Now if we consider another variable name numerical 25 beam underscore length equal to 6, in case of this variable name, the variable name also starts with the number 25. So this is also invalid. The broken structure of this image represents Python rejecting invalid variable names. Just like a weak structure may fail in civil engineering construction, a variable name that breaks Python rules also fails. Now let us look at this image of road sign structure on the right hand side. This image represents correct variable names. Lane numerical 10 underscore highway equal to NH44. Here the variable name starts with the lowercase letter L. The number 10 is placed inside the variable name, so Python accepts it. Now consider another variable name beam numerical 25 underscore length equal to 6. Again the variable starts with the lowercase letter b and the number 25 comes inside the variable name. So this is also valid as per the rule of Python. So this image shows approved variable names. The important idea is numbers are allowed inside or at the end of variable names, but numbers should not come first. Now let us understand an important reason behind this rule. Why variable names cannot start with numbers. Suppose we write something like numerical 25 beam. Now Python tries to read this. Inside Python there is something called an interpreter. The interpreter is responsible for reading and understanding our code. But when Python sees numerical 25 beam, it becomes confused. Python starts asking, is this a number or a variable name? At first instance, Python checks, is this a number like integer or float? Again, the Python also checks, is this a variable name? But the text starts with numerical 25, which looks like a number. And after that, suddenly Python sees beam, which looks like text. So Python cannot immediately understand, is this mathematics or is this a variable name? That is why the interpreter becomes confused and finally Python gives syntax error. So the main idea is Python needs immediate clarity while reading this code. So to avoid confusion, Python follows a strict rule. Variable names should not start with numbers. So remember, if a variable starts with a number, Python may struggle to decide whether it is reading a number or a variable name. To prevent this confusion, Python does not allow leading numbers in variable names. Now let us understand some examples of valid and invalid variable names. First example, suppose we consider traffic underscore count numerical 5. This variable name is valid because it starts with the lowercase letter t and the number 5 is placed at the end. This variable follows the Python rule for defining variable name. Now consider this second example, bin numerical 2 underscore width. This variable name is also valid because it starts with the lowercase letter b and the number 2 is placed inside the variable name. Again, if we see numerical 8 road underscore length, this variable name is invalid because it starts with the number 8. As per the rule of Python, variable names should not start with numbers. That's why the variable name numerical 8 road underscore length is invalid. Again, suppose we are considering another variable name, that is numerical 4 soil underscore density. This variable name is invalid because the variable name starts with the number 4, which is against the rule of Python for defining the variable name. So from this example, we understand one important rule, that is numbers are allowed inside the variable name or at the end, but numbers should not come at the beginning of the variable name. So always remember, a variable name should start with a letter or underscore, not with a number. Now let us learn rule number 3 for variable naming in Python. The rule states that spaces cause structural fractures. In simple words, this means we should not use spaces inside variable names. Here we can see a broken bridge structure. This broken gap represents a space inside a variable name. When we place a space inside a variable name, the variable breaks into separate parts. Now consider this code line road space width equal to 12. This variable name is invalid because there is a space between road and width. Python sees these as two separate words. So you may ask, why does Python get confused? Because Python thinks road is one word and width is another separate word. So Python cannot understand that both words together are supposed to form one variable name. Now see, road underscore width equal to 12. This is the correct version of variable name. Instead of using a space, we use an underscore. This underscore connects the two words properly. Now you may ask, why is underscore preferred? Because underscore clearly separates the words. For example, road underscore width is easy to read and easy to understand. In this case of variable naming, there is two separate parts. These two separate parts is connected by underscore. First part is the structure name and second part is the properties of that structure or object. These two separate words are connected with underscore. Now let us see road width equal to 12. Here the second word starts with a capital letter W. This method is called camel case. So remember, spaces are not allowed, underscore is allowed, and camel case is also allowed. So finally, in Python, underscore is highly recommended because it improves readability and makes variable names easier to understand. So the rule number 3 says variable names should not contain spaces. If there are multiple words, use underscore or you may use camel case. So in this session, we studied the rule number 3 for variable naming in Python. We understood that spaces are not allowed inside variable names, and we also learned the correct way to write multi-word variable names using underscore and camel case. I hope the civil engineering examples helped you understand the concept in a simple way. In the next session, we will discuss rule number 4 for variable naming in Python, that is the subtraction trap. So see you in the next session.